If you pick the right hobby today, 6 months from now, your life will feel different, not because luck found you or the world became easier, but because you became harder to break. Most people don't truly change. They just get older with more expensive distractions. They upgrade their phones, their entertainment, and their excuses, then call it being busy and label it adulting. Stoic philosophy cuts through that illusion and reminds us that confidence is not built by comfort, but by repeated exposure to controlled difficulty. Marcus Aurelius warned himself daily that each day is meant for the work a human being is designed to do, not the work that feels pleasant, but the work that strengthens character. That is the difference between people who age and people who evolve. To most, a hobby is something to pass time when boredom hits. To the disciplined few, a hobby becomes a private training ground where there is no applause, no validation, only repetition. Day after day, quietly and relentlessly, discipline forms, and confidence stops being something they try to project and becomes something settled inside them. Epictetus explained it simply: we don't control outcomes, we only control our actions. In practical terms, that means you stop waiting to feel ready and choose a practice instead. Identity follows behavior, not the other way around. That is why these are not casual pastimes or soft habits. These are 10 baddest hobbies because they forge focus, composure, and endurance while the rest of the world is chasing comfort. You don't need all 10, you need one, taken seriously, for long enough that it changes how you respond to pressure. Habit 1. Boxing is not about fighting people, it is about confronting the version of yourself that collapses under stress. The first thing boxing teaches you is how to breathe while chaos is happening around you. Your heart is racing, your body wants to panic, and your mind is searching for an escape, yet you are forced to stay present and composed. Over time, you learn timing instead of rushing, control instead of emotional reaction, and calm instead of panic. Fear becomes loud, but you discover something crucial. Fear can make noise, but it cannot give orders. The Stoics believed courage was not the absence of fear, but obedience to reason in the presence of it. Boxing rewires your nervous system by making discomfort familiar and pressure survivable. Once that lesson is learned, it spreads into the rest of your life. Difficult conversations stop feeling threatening, stress becomes manageable, and criticism loses its power. Confidence stops being something you perform and becomes something you trust. This is why boxing builds quiet authority, not arrogance or noise, just certainty earned through repetition. One habit, practiced consistently, begins to change how you respond to everything else. And this is only the first layer of training. By now you understand that growth isn't something that happens by chance. It is deliberately chosen. You pick a practice, and the practice shapes you. The difference between people who drift through life and those who rise quietly without noise is their willingness to confront discomfort repeatedly. Habits are not just routines, they are the building blocks of your identity. They teach lessons the world cannot, and they forge the inner strength most people will never experience. Now, after laying the foundation with physical discipline through boxing, we move into mental mastery, the kind that shapes clarity, honesty, and authority over yourself. Habit 2. Journaling is deceptively simple, but deceptively powerful. Sitting with a pen and facing your own mind is one of the hardest forms of honesty. Writing your thoughts forces clarity. It cuts through mental fog, organizes chaos, and exposes patterns you've been repeating for years without noticing. Seneca wrote about examining your day as a judge, not as an enemy, and that is exactly what journaling becomes, a mirror that neither flatters nor lies. Over time, you begin to recognize how fear, doubt, and impulsiveness have been steering your decisions. You learn to separate emotion from fact and to make intentional choices rather than react blindly. Journaling teaches patience, self-reflection, and the discipline of seeing your own life without filters. The pages become your private battlefield where every honest sentence sharpens focus and builds the unshakable confidence that quiet leaders possess. Habit 3. Weightlifting is not about aesthetics, it is about authority over yourself. There is no negotiation with iron. Every rep, every set is proof that strength is earned, not given. You discover that discomfort is temporary, that effort produces results, and that persistence trumps mood. The very act of showing up day after day teaches resilience in a way the mind cannot lie about. Your nervous system adapts to challenge, your muscles grow, and your identity begins to shift. Suddenly, doing hard things on command becomes possible, and life starts to obey the person you've trained to be. The lessons are subtle but profound. Persistence is more valuable than talent. Control over self is more important than control over circumstances. And real authority begins with the mastery of your own body. Both journaling and weightlifting share a common principle. Growth is non-negotiable. One strengthens the mind, the other the body, and together they create a foundation that makes everything else easier. People notice your calm, your presence, and your certainty, but they rarely see the daily, unseen training that forged it. That is the quiet advantage of discipline. You are no longer at the mercy of fleeting emotions or external approval. You have built something internal, something that cannot be taken away. The ability to act consistently, confidently, and with focus, no matter the chaos around you. As this session closes, consider this. Mental and physical training are not optional add-ons. They are investments in identity. Boxing taught you courage under pressure. Journaling teaches honesty under scrutiny. Weightlifting teaches resilience under strain. Each habit complements the other, layering skills that compound over time. If you commit even a single one seriously, you begin the process of becoming the person who cannot be shaken. And that is the kind of transformation the 1% quietly pursue while others chase distractions and excuses. In the next session, we expand further into body mastery without equipment and the strategic patience that builds unstoppable composure, introducing Habit 4 and Habit 5. Growth is rarely obvious to the casual observer. Most people measure progress by applause, attention, or immediate results. The truth is, the most powerful transformation is invisible until it is undeniable. The people who dominate life are not louder, faster, or luckier. They are consistent, patient, and relentless in their training. They build layers of discipline that compound over months and years. Habits are not hobbies, they are quiet mechanisms for becoming unshakable. In this session, we move beyond the basics of courage and personal strength to mastery of your own body and the strategic patience that shapes long-term clarity. This is where subtlety meets power, and the ordinary begins to look extraordinary. Habit 4. Calisthenics is the art of controlling your own body. Pull-ups, dips, handstands, levers, no machines, no shortcuts. You confront gravity and excuses, and the truth is immediate. Your body does not lie. Every movement demands precision, control, and discipline. This practice humbles you because limits are exposed instantly, but it empowers you because progress is measurable and undeniable. Your mind begins to learn patience. Your nervous system learns resilience. The small victories, adding one pull-up, holding a handstand a few seconds longer, compound, teaching a lesson that extends far beyond the physical. Limits are not meant to be accepted, they are meant to be challenged. In a world that values comfort, calisthenics trains discomfort as your ally. You learn to face tension and resist surrender, which prepares you for the invisible battles life throws at you every day. Habit 5. Chess is a silent battlefield. Unlike calisthenics, it is not physical, but it punishes impulsivity and rewards clarity of thought. Every move teaches patience, foresight, and emotional control. Sacrifice the small piece to win the real battle. Delay gratification to secure long-term advantage. Every decision in chess mirrors the choices you face in life: relationships, money, career, and personal growth. The game forces you to pause before you react, to think strategically, and to maintain composure under pressure. Chess is mental conditioning. It strengthens your decision-making muscles, builds a tolerance for delayed results, and reinforces the idea that discipline is more important than impulse. Practicing chess consistently cultivates a calm, calculated mindset that becomes invaluable in every high-stakes situation. Both calisthenics and chess share an essential lesson. Mastery is built through repetition under controlled challenge. The body and mind are trained in parallel. One develops resilience to physical stress. The other develops resilience to mental pressure. Together, they create a foundation for unshakable composure. By committing to these habits daily, you begin to cultivate a presence that is calm, deliberate, and confident. People may notice your poise, but they won't see the hours of struggle, repetition, and focus that produced it. That is the quiet power of consistency, the Stoic advantage the world rarely acknowledges. As this session closes, remember this: mastery of self is not a performance. It is a quiet revolution inside you. Calisthenics teaches the body to obey discipline. Chess teaches the mind to obey reason. Habit after habit, session after session, your internal framework strengthens. This layered growth separates the 1% from the crowd, not because they are born different, but because they train differently. In the next session, we will explore Habit 6 and Habit 7, where the focus shifts to communication, presence, and the power of knowledge, tools that silently shape authority, influence, and resilience. By now, the foundation is set. You've trained your body to withstand pressure, disciplined your mind to think clearly, and practiced patience in both physical and mental arenas. But there are two more dimensions that separate the quiet, unshakable few from the crowd: presence and knowledge. These are subtle but decisive tools. Presence is the way you occupy space without force. Knowledge is the way you make informed, intentional choices instead of drifting. Mastering these aspects is not optional. It is what allows your inner strength to extend into the world and influence outcomes without shouting or aggression. In this session, we explore Habit 6 and Habit 7, the practices that silently shape authority and clarity. Habit 6. Communication is more than speaking. It is expressing yourself with precision, calm, and authority. Most people talk to fill silence, to seek validation, or to mask insecurity. The 1% speak to shape reality subtly. Learning to communicate clearly and confidently changes everything. Not louder, not aggressive, but deliberate and controlled. Eye contact, structured thoughts, and the ability to set boundaries without apology are all skills refined through practice. At first, this feels awkward because it exposes insecurities, but that is exactly why it works. You learn to pause before reacting, to express ideas cleanly, and to assert your presence without needing to dominate a conversation. This skill becomes a form of invisible power, one that commands respect without forcing it. The lessons from Stoicism are clear. Self-mastery begins with self-expression, done intentionally and without need for external approval. Every controlled word, every confident sentence reinforces the identity you are building in your private training ground. Habit 7. Reading is the habit that lets you borrow centuries of hard-earned wisdom without enduring the same mistakes yourself. One carefully chosen book can save years of trial and error. Philosophy builds resilience, biographies provide perspective, psychology teaches self-awareness, and practical books impart skills you can execute. The Stoics believed that wisdom is training, not trivia. Reading is not entertainment when used correctly. It is fuel for the mind and the soul. Consistent reading strengthens judgment, improves focus, and conditions the mind to anticipate complexity. It is mental conditioning disguised as learning. By dedicating yourself to this practice, you create an internal library of strategies, principles, and examples that can guide your decisions under pressure. Knowledge, when internalized, becomes confidence. The quiet advantage is that while most people react impulsively, you respond intentionally, drawing from a mental reserve that others simply do not possess. Both communication and reading share a vital quality. They amplify the results of your other habits. Physical strength and mental clarity are limited if you cannot express yourself or apply knowledge effectively. By refining these skills, you make your presence undeniable, your decisions informed, and your influence organic. People may notice your calm, authoritative demeanor without understanding the hours of practice that support it. That is the invisible architecture of confidence, the Stoic advantage that cannot be faked. As this session concludes, consider this. Skillful communication and deep reading are not optional luxuries. They are the tools that allow your private training to manifest in the real world. Without them, your discipline is incomplete. With them, your presence becomes natural, your judgment reliable, and your influence inevitable. In the next session, we will dive into Habit 8 and Habit 9, where physical endurance meets strategic utility, the practices that define resilience and create leverage over circumstances. By now, you have begun to understand the quiet, compounding power of daily practice. Your body has been trained to face pressure, your mind has been trained to think clearly, and your presence has been honed through deliberate communication and careful reading. But growth demands more than presence or knowledge. It demands endurance and utility. Without the ability to push beyond limits and to create leverage, discipline risks becoming abstract. True resilience is revealed not in comfort, but in the consistent choice to do what is hard, what others avoid, and what builds real advantage. In this session, we focus on Habit 8 and Habit 9, where the mastery of self meets strategic application in the world. Habit 8. Running is deceptively simple. On the surface, it is just putting one foot in front of the other. In reality, it is a test of commitment, mental toughness, and the ability to honor promises to yourself when no one is watching. Running teaches endurance in the purest form, not just for the body, but for the mind. Every mile, every early morning, every moment of discomfort forces a choice: quit or keep going. Over time, running conditions the mind to persist when the instinct is to stop. You learn to endure monotony, manage fatigue, and embrace discomfort as part of growth. The lesson translates to life outside of running: resilience in high-pressure situations, perseverance under stress, and the confidence to continue when others retreat. It creates an internal standard. You know what you are capable of, and that knowledge strengthens every decision you make. Habit 9. High-income skill. A high-income skill is more than a way to earn money. It is leverage in a world that rewards value creation. Skills like copywriting, sales, coding, web design, video editing, or media buying teach you to produce results on demand, independent of luck or titles. Most people wait for permission, recognition, or opportunity, and in doing so, they remain dependent. Developing one skill to mastery changes that dynamic entirely. You become useful anywhere, capable of creating opportunity rather than begging for it. More importantly, mastering a skill teaches discipline and problem-solving under pressure. You learn to focus deeply, adapt quickly, and deliver results even when conditions are imperfect. This habit reinforces the Stoic principle: control your actions, and the outcomes will follow. Over time, this skill becomes a foundation for freedom. Freedom from reliance on others and freedom to act intentionally in any situation. Running and skill mastery share a common thread. Both demand consistency and confrontation with discomfort. One teaches you endurance, the other teaches leverage. Together they create a powerful combination, a mind that can endure and a hand that can create. People may notice your results, but they rarely see the countless hours of effort, the repeated choices to persist, and the quiet discipline that produces them. That is the advantage of deliberate practice, the kind that is invisible to the world, but undeniable to yourself. As this session concludes, reflect on this. Building endurance through running and utility through skill development does more than improve life. It transforms identity. You stop reacting passively and start designing the conditions of your own success. The next and final session will introduce Habit 10, content creation, and the unifying rule that makes all 10 habits work together to reshape your life permanently. By the end of that session, the full architecture of unshakable confidence, discipline, and influence will be clear. Every habit we've explored so far builds a different dimension of your strength: physical, mental, emotional, and strategic. But the final layer is creation. Creation is where all your skills, discipline, and clarity converge to leave a mark on the world, however small or large. It's not about fame. It's not about recognition. It's about leveraging your mind, your experience, and your discipline to produce something tangible that proves your identity to yourself and influences the world quietly but decisively. This is Habit 10, content creation, the ultimate extension of all prior training, where thought meets action and persistence meets influence. Habit 10. Content creation is deceptively simple to begin, yet profoundly transformative. Writing, recording, or designing something consistently requires discipline, focus, and clarity of thought. You learn to express ideas cleanly, explain them simply, and speak with conviction. Every piece of content you produce becomes a test of patience, creativity, and persistence. Even if only 10 people see your work initially, the act of creation trains your identity. You are practicing influence, discipline, and clarity. You are learning to transform abstract ideas into concrete results, to externalize your growth, and to reinforce your sense of purpose. In a world where attention is the currency of influence, the creator gains leverage that cannot be taken away. This habit binds together the lessons of boxing, journaling, weightlifting, calisthenics, chess, communication, reading, running, and skill mastery. Creation is the proving ground where all internal strength meets the external world. The rule that makes all 10 habits work is deceptively simple. Don't collect habits, commit to one and train it relentlessly. A single hobby practiced consistently becomes a force that reshapes identity, builds discipline, and rewires the nervous system. The 1% don't have better luck or genetics. They have practices they do not negotiate with. They show up when it is uncomfortable, when no one is watching, when results are delayed, and they do this not for applause, but because their identity depends on it. Start small, but start immediately. Put your chosen habit on a schedule. Treat it as training, not a mood. Over time, the repetition compounds, and you become someone who cannot be shaken by life's unpredictability. By integrating all 10 habits over time, you create layers of resilience, composure, confidence, and influence that are nearly impossible to dismantle. Physical strength under pressure, mental clarity under stress, patience in planning, endurance under discomfort, strategic skills, effective communication, consistent learning, and the habit of creation all reinforce one another. The combination produces a life where confidence is internal, authority is quiet, and progress is inevitable. You become the person others notice, not because you demand attention, but because your presence, your results, and your mindset naturally draw respect and influence. As this final session closes, remember, growth is never accidental. It is chosen, repeated, and disciplined. Your life, 6 months from now, a year from now, even 5 years from now, is determined by what you choose to practice consistently today. Choose one habit from this list. Commit to it. Protect your practice. Let it build your identity, layer by layer, day by day. Your future self will thank you, not because life was easier, but because you became someone who cannot be shaken, someone who acts with clarity, confidence, and purpose, no matter what the world throws at you. This is the Stoic path to mastery, and this is how ordinary people quietly become unstoppable.